Hi, Rio Grande Guardian is celebrating 18th year in the valley, making a difference in people's lives, making a difference in the news for the local people. Here we have Mr. Aaron George from Austin, a SpaceX enthusiast, an entrepreneur, a surgery intern, and he wanted to become a SpaceX flight surgeon. Welcome to Rio Grande Valley.
Thank you so much, Mr. Rubin.
And welcome to Rio Grande Guardian.
Thank you so much.
Tell me about yourself. Why
Sure.
you are here in the Rio Grande Valley, the southmost border of Mexico.
Yes, so first off, thank you so much to the Rio Grande Guardian for being here and covering this. I'm really honored to be in this interview, and thank you so much, Mr. Rubin. To start off, I'm actually a high school junior right now in Austin, Texas. I'm 17 years old, and what would encompass my passions are medicine and technology. I think those are two, very very highlighted passions in today's world, and I'm very passionate for the intersection of those two. And as you said, my career aspiration is to become a flight surgeon for SpaceX. So my dream is to not only serve on missions for SpaceX, providing research for the company, but also providing healthcare for the astronauts. And one day would like to go up in space. So with that, I'm also very big on giving back to the community. In fact, that's
Recently, and I heard about your STEMVest Foundation. So tell me about the STEMVest Foundation,
Sure.
and then you started some contributions to the non-profit organization. I understand that you would like to work with non-profit organizations. They make a difference in the life of that community.
Exactly, yes, sir. So I'll give you a quick background onto my nonprofit. So my nonprofit is called STEMVest. It's a play on words with STEM, which is science, technology, engineering, and math, and VEST, which is investing. So you're essentially investing your education or investing your passions in life into STEM. And I'll give you sort of a motivation as to starting this nonprofit. It's pretty new. It's a nonprofit that was started sort of late last year in 2023. But the passion really came from when I asked my peers in grades K through 12, what do you want to be when you grow up? It's either I don't know or something very aspirational, which is great. So the reason I created this nonprofit and the mission is to identify and share STEM education and career guidance resources to K through 12 students across the state of Texas and the nation. It's to hone in their passions to ultimately have a brighter career down the road. And like you said, in Texas, being Austinite, being a native Texan, I'm focusing on the Rio Grande Valley, essentially the southernmost region of Texas, immediately bordering Mexico, where we have hundreds of thousands of migrants crossing the border from Central and South America that go into areas in the Rio Grande Valley, such as colonias that may not have the best resources. No running water, limited food, no electricity. And I want to give back to the children in that area. There's tons of children there who lack the ability to go for higher education, to go for more research learning, to grow their passions. So like you said, recently, STEMVest, when my first trip down to the RTV, I donated roughly $5,000 to organizations like the Catholic Charities of the Rio Grande Valley, the Food Bank, cultural organizations like the India Association of Rio Grande Valley,
and the AltaCare.
Yes,
Foundation.
exactly. And AltaCare Foundation, who's providing resources to those in colonias and underserved areas. But recently, a couple of days ago, actually, you and I went out to the Colonia in Downa, Texas. We partnered up with the Texas A&M Colonias program, affiliated directly with the university. So we partnered up and we gave about 35, 40 STEM kits out to students there in the Colonia. And the smiles were endless. I mean, it was really touching to see.
The smiling, and the smiles are contagious,
They're
right?
contagious, exactly. Yes.
And I've seen that it is heart touching, and there is one kid having autism,
Exactly.
approach you, and that he loves space.
Right.
So tell me
Yes.
the story about that, and
Sure,
he would
sure.
like. Mom wanted you to mentor him. mentored that kid?
Yes, I remember his name. His name is Eden. So when I was giving out the STEM kits to a lot of the students there was one student who came up very, very eager, and he pointed to this one kit that I had out. It was a small kit that you could build sort of a lunar rover or a space rover. It's a Lego kit that you could put together that has solar panels, and it crawls, it moves around. There's lights that flicker that he could put together. It's more of a technology side. So he loved space. That's all he could talk about. So he came up to me and he pointed directly at that. He said, "I want that, please." And I said, "Oh, by all means." So he took it, and after the event ended, we met with him and his mom. And his mom was really touched, and she was telling us his story. That at the age of 2 he was diagnosed with autism, and but he's really, really creative and intelligent.
That's right.
He knows off the top of his head, he knows the whole solar system, facts about each planet.
Amazing.
And whatnot. It was truly amazing, and he was a very young age. I think he was 9 or 10.
Yeah.
He was he also has brothers and sisters who were there at the event too, and they were really touched that their brother could access.
He had planet cupcakes for his birthday.
Yes, exactly. For his recent birthday, he had planet-themed cupcakes and whatnot.
And you are going to follow with him and help him on his...
Yeah, exactly. I spoke to his mother, and being someone who wants to work for SpaceX or space agency, I'd love to mentor him and work with him. So I spoke to his mother on that.
Aaron, you are an amazing youngster, and
you.
I've seen many people in your age, but you are a role model for many.
Thank you.
What do you want to tell to the youth of America or youth of the world?
Sure.
And you wanted to put together a youth advisory council for the city, and you want to see that how the new generation going to make a difference, because that is the only way the future is going to be.
Exactly, right. I'll start off with that answer by saying the statement that if I can do it, you can do it. I'm 17 years old, and I've had a lot of accolades, and this is something that every young citizen can learn from as well. The biggest piece of advice I give out is to step out of your comfort zone. Going to networking events, talking to high-level executives about your passions, your wanting to grow. I think that really opens up endless opportunities. Stepping out of your comfort zone is something that a lot of teenagers, a lot of young folks don't want to do anymore, because they have something lined up for them in the future. They have something that their parents or grandparents done, and they want to follow them. But stepping out of your comfort zone, being that person to make that change is extremely vital. And if you have passion, that's something we're going to talk about a lot during this interview is passion. And if you have that in you, if you have that fire, you can really pursue anything that you want. And again, by stepping out of your comfort zone, by going out of your way, you can really attain opportunities that I have attained myself.
And yesterday that you attended the city council, and in the public comment you made some suggestions to the city. And what is your, do you have any plan to come back to the valley and do some research, or what is your, you are already a researcher and your mind is research oriented.
Exactly.
So any plans to work with the research department, UTRGV,
Sure.
and also with the DHR?
No problem. So yeah, to preface at least, my science research is a big part of my life. I've done the science fair system since I was in grade 4 with a small project on the longevity of Egyptian pyramids. But I've gone on to create projects that have gone to attain patents or in the patent pending process. But a lot of the projects that I create are utilizing artificial intelligence and creating, or actually aimed at solving a really pressing issue in the world today. And that's something I really look on at, each year that I do a research project. I look on, what's the most pressing problem today, and how can, myself, a 17-year-old kid, solve it. Recently I presented a project that essentially utilizes a thin blood smear image of a patient. So let's say a patient in sub-Saharan Africa, for instance. You can take a pinprick of your blood, just like how you're testing for glucose for a diabetic patient. You can take a pinprick of blood, smear it on a glass slide, place it under a microscope, press a photograph, and I have an AI model that is trained with a lot of images from the National Institute of Health that utilizes that blood smear image from the patient, scans it, and gives you your results if you have malaria or not within a couple of seconds. and this is far superior than far superior than the methods available today, where it'll take weeks at most in underserved areas such as sub-Saharan Africa and Southeast India and whatnot. So yeah, like you said, science research is a big part of my life, and the RGV is definitely a big part of my life. Now that I've grown much closer to it, UT RGV has great opportunities. In fact, a couple of days ago, I was meeting with a professor, Dr. Vivek Kashyap. He's a cancer researcher at UT RGV, and we were speaking on an opportunity to research later this summer. So I will be researching with him later this summer, and hopefully getting a publication out as well with the UT RGV. So
I mean, many people may not be knowing cervical cancer
Yes,
is one of the
yes.
main issues in the valley.
Exactly.
You talk
Right.
about that, right?
Right, exactly. Yeah, cervical cancer is actually, if not the top three major issues currently in the city of McAllen and the RGV. Cervical cancer is really horrible, and it has things like HIV associated with the disease. And but it's great knowing that UT RGV and a lot of research institutions are located in RGV, a very, very growing area, that are there to help solve diseases like cervical cancer and help creating groundbreaking research. So yeah, UT RGV has endless opportunity, and hopefully to work together.
And
sometime.
coming back to the point that you want to be a SpaceX flight surgeon,
Yes.
why is that?
Yeah. So that career aspiration is actually something that I that I created when I was 12 years old, and that's that many 12-year-olds want to be a pilot, want to be a doctor, and that's actually I chose both of those tracks together. So at the age of 12, I actually started doing flight training. So I'm a student pilot as of now. I fly single-engine aircraft such as Cessna 172 and Cirrus SR-20 up in Georgetown, Texas, near Austin. And I've flown out of the Austin airport before too. But yeah, when I started flight training at the age of 12, I really grew towards aerospace. But I had that longing to do something for the community in terms of medicine. So I was looking at different careers, and space is definitely a big interest of mine. I want to be on Mars one day. I truly believe that humanity is a multiplanetary species one day. And it's what SpaceX is doing with Starship, what NASA is doing partnering with SpaceX. It was an inspiration for me to work with them. So I hope to be a flight surgeon for SpaceX, pursue pre-medicine or medicine in college, and aerospace engineering as well.
I understand that you're going to Harvard in June.
Yes, so I do a lot of extracurricular activities. I mean, despite many, in the summer, I do a lot of university-affiliated programs. So for the past couple of summers, I've been doing a program with Harvard called the Harvard Summer School. So I ended up doing undergraduate credits. I take undergraduate classes, with many students at Harvard. It's a very selective program. And yeah, I was able to get up to 8 undergraduate credits, and doing some more this summer as well. But one other program that I was involved in is Yale University's Young Global Scholars Program. It's a program where there's 150 countries represented, but only a couple hundred students chosen across the globe to go to this Yale affiliated program, where you stay at Yale for 2 weeks and you take an interdisciplinary course. So if you're interested in business, politics, law, medicine, you get to go to that course and sit in Yale University classrooms, get taught by professors, and do projects with a group and whatnot. So I chose the medicine program, of course, and did classes there. So it's amazing, and this summer I hope to do the same Harvard summer school.
Thank you so much. I can do it. You can do it. What a great message. Thinking outside the box, right? Success is doing the common thing uncommonly well. That is what Aaron always does.
Yes.
And how can people reach you? Aaron George at 379.
Sure, yeah, I'm always open for folks to reach me. If you need any help whatsoever, I can give you my email. It's Aaron, that's Aaron, George, George, 379 at gmail.com.
And thank you so much, Rio Grande Valley,
Yes, yeah.
and also Rio Grande Guardian.
Exactly.
Very
yes.
proud to have you, entrepreneur, innovator, SpaceX enthusiast, and much more.
Thank you.
And let us set up a youth advisory council in the valley,
Yes,
and let us make things happen
Awesome.
for a purpose.
Yes.
And we have to live with a purpose.
That's awesome. Yeah, I wanted to give a last thank you to not only the Rio Grande Guardian for this interview, but also the whole Rio Grande Valley itself. You know, mayors like Mayor Javier Villalobos with the city of McAllen. Look forward to working with him to create a youth advisory council later on. But
And
the
you spoke at the Edinburgh City Youth Advisory Council,
Yes,
right?
exactly. I'm very close with Mayor Ramiro Garza as well with Edinburgh, and I recently spoke at the Mayor's Youth Advisory Council as an honorary member about my STEM journey and kind of what we spoke here today. So looking forward to working with a lot of the political leaders down here, creating councils and providing my STEM story, getting more students involved in STEM, and hopefully I can have a youth advisory board for my nonprofit as well. So yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you so much
Awesome.
for your valuable time.
Thank you so much.